It's finally here. It's the finals of the Zwift Racing League. We've got 22 kilometres, round breakfast, grits and crits, and about 200 and something metres of climbing. So, everything to play for. Let's see who gets those FTS and FAL points, and let's see who's going for the win. Fingers crossed, I have a good race, but I guess we're going to see. See you on the other side. So as we get underway in this plate final of the ZRL, a culmination of a season from October through to April of 6 rounds, 2 semi-finals and a final. It's everything to play for. So we start off as a group. There's about 13 or 14 of us in this race, and we've got 4 members of our team racing. And the course is slightly different to normal because usually on the breakfast crits and crits, you start from the top of Sugar South, I think that's how you pronounce it, and it's a downhill to start. But for the final, it starts with a climb. So, as you'd expect, out of the pen, all of the packers stay together fairly conveniently, but then we get to the start of this climb. And this race transpires to be a 3-stage race in the end, as far as I'm concerned at least. So we will take you through this opening stage, the first climb, and then after that's done, we'll do a bit of fast forwarding to the next key moments of the race as it develops. But just to give you an idea of what's going on here, in my mind, I was thinking I'd just stay with the pack, but actually I suddenly realised that was on front, and I thought, well, here's an opportunity, perhaps, to break the group up very early on and see if we can form a breakaway. So I thought, maybe I'll need to go on my own for a bit, or maybe it will be a bunch of riders that come with me. And actually, it's exactly that happened. As we come around this corner here, you can see that there's another 3 riders that have stayed with me on the hill, and you can see at the bottom there, whereabouts it shows you how far back everybody else is, and on the right hand side, the positioning, you can see that already the rest of the group, apart from us 5, have dropped back significantly on that first climb. So there's already 5 seconds between the first 5 and the other 9 riders in the race. So there was a bit of a push here towards the top because this was the first segment, so there was FTS and FAL points available. That's fastest through segment and first across the line. And as you can see, I suddenly realised that was the case, managed to push a bit and came third through that segment. And from there on in, it was a nice downhill. And actually this group now stays together for a little while. So we'll just fast forward it to the next step in the race. So as we come into the Clyde Kicker, there's 4 of us in this group now. One of the other riders that was at the top of Sugar South actually didn't stay with us. But the Clyde Kicker is another segment for FTS and FAL points, and you can see everybody's putting some power down to try and get those points for their team. And as we come over the top, it's myself and the Gjorn Cycling, I think that's how you pronounce it, rider, Stroms, who take first and second through it. But actually what we've then realised, I think both of us probably at the same time, is we've created a gap of about 25 to 30 metres over the other 2 riders. He smashes his aero boost, I do the same, and actually we managed to pull away and create a gap on the 2 behind us. So this is how it stays for a short while, the 2 of us together, and then another 2 behind us, and then the rest of the group a little bit further back. Okay, I'll be honest, I've been struggling to stay with Stroms. He's a super strong rider for a B rider, and I've been hanging on to his back wheel, but at this point You can see me in my picture there. I am looking a little bit beat. He's been pushing me all the way, or more to the point, I've been behind him and pushing him, I think. But you can see he's turned the power up and he's pulling 7 or 8 watts there for a moment, and he's just created a gap. And I've realised that if I carry on trying to keep with him for the rest of the race, I'm just going to struggle like hell. So my strategy changes. I think second is pretty good. What I need to do now is maintain the gap over Mark from Herd Racing in the 3rd spot, who I've got an 8-second gap on. So that then becomes the strategy for the rest of the race. I'll fast forward through and you can see how I got on. So let's slow it down for the final ascent up Sugar Summit South, and as you can see from earlier, I've managed to maintain that gap. Indeed, I've pulled away a bit further from the 3rd place spot, 20 seconds in it, so no chance really, unless I fall off my Zwift ride, of getting caught. But it occurred to me that I had an opportunity to see whether or not I could get some FTS segment points. I was thinking to myself, maybe everybody's as tired as I am. If I can just put a little bit of extra effort in, I might be able to get some additional points for the team. So you can see I'm continuing to push, even though there's nobody around to help me push on and nobody particularly to race against to get to the line. So this is all from within. This is all self-motivation. Can I get a few extra points for the team? Might make all the difference, might not. I guess we'll see at the end of the video. But now into the final bend, well, not the final bend, there's another one after this, but this final bend at the top of this little rise, and then we've got a final push over the hill, only 0.4 kilometers to go. I am absolutely worn out at this point, as you can imagine, but I think riding on your own for such a long period of time is actually more exhausting and more tiring, mentally at least, and it feels like physically. than when you're in a pack and you're chasing and you're all pushing each other. And of course, you don't get the benefit of any draft when you're all on your own, so it's all pure watts. But again, I thought I'd give it another push into the last 200 metres, and as we come up over the brow, it's the finishing line just about to come into sight, and last 100 metres, final push over the line, and we are there, and I got second place, which I'm very pleased with. So let's hear from James just after the race.
Well, I think the first thing I can say is well done to the Danish bike racing rider Stroms. He was awesome. I tried to stay with him, as you'll have seen, and he just had too much for me. I mean, what an amazing ride. So congratulations, a really deserved win, which makes it taking second. I am just delighted with. I really didn't think that I would get that going in, but just as usual, I'll run through the stats, and 201 average watts. I think that's my highest for a while. It's an average in a race. I know it's a shorter race than the Echo, but even so, no less hard. I'm going to say that's 2.1 pizzas, not slices of pizzas. I think that's fair enough. Timeline. I bet that's my best power output at 903, and that's my highest heart rate. I think both of those. Well, certainly that's the season's best, and that's probably forever. My heart rate never gets that high, well, until now. And then big finishes. I tried to see if there was any way to get fastest through the segment. I guess we'll see at the end. I didn't have much legs by that time, and I think there you go. I equalled my, what is that, 1 minute? And thereabouts, it's a 5 minutes, and then here at the end, 30 minutes. I think that's the best, honestly. That's well, I don't think I could have done much more, so again, congratulations to Stroms. He's heroic and a deserved winner. By the time I've edited this, I bet we'll have the results out, so I'll put that in, and we'll see how the team got on. Thank you very much for watching. Bye now.
So as promised, here's the results of the FTS, FAL and the team news. So there was a lot of segments on this particular race, whereabouts you could pick up some points, and some of them were over the same segment again and again, but your best score counted, as I understand it. So you can see that from myself personally, I got quite a few FAL points first across the line, as you'd expect, because I was running in second for nearly all of the race. So basically I got second position for all of them, except for the first climb right at the very beginning of the race, whereabouts you saw that I finished third. And I got a couple of fastest through segments as well. Not actually the fastest, but in the top scoring categories. So all of that meant that as a team we finished second in the plate final. So I think that's something we can be proud of. Bye now.